The HubSpot Meetings tool saves me so much time when I'm setting up appointments. So today I'm going to show you how to set it up for yourself.
Welcome to HubSpot Hacks, where we help you get more out of HubSpot.
The HubSpot Meetings tool allows you to send a link that people can use to book a time slot on your calendar, which eliminates all that back and forth that we normally have to deal with to find a time that works for everybody. So let's dive in. So on this first screen here, you're going to see all of the meetings links that I have set up. Now, you can see that I use quite a few, and it depends on what kind of HubSpot version you're on. So if you're just a free user, just using the free tools, you're only gonna be able to have one meetings link, which is still super helpful. But if you're one of the pro users, have any of the pro platforms, you can set up multiple meetings links. So you can see that I use quite a few here. I've got just kind of a generic one that you can use to set up a call with me. I've got one that I just restricted 20 minutes for leads that I don't know if they're quite qualified yet. I'm gonna qualify them in that quick 20-minute call. I've got discovery meetings, so any kind of meeting that you have, you can set up multiple links to make sure that it's customized for that availability and that time slot. So the first thing that you have to do to get this set up is to integrate HubSpot with your Google Calendar. So I'm not gonna show you exactly how to do that today, but I'm gonna show you where you can do it. It's super simple. So if you just go to settings here, and if you were already looking at your meetings tool, it's gonna pop you right into your meeting settings. But if you haven't done that, if you didn't click on it from your meetings tool, you're just gonna hit this sales drop down on the side and then click on meetings. So you'll see you have preferences, calendar integration, and custom domains here. So your preferences, these aren't too important. You can kind of leave these as they are unless you want to edit them. But this calendar integration is gonna be your first step to getting this set up. So you can see I've got mine integrated with my Google Calendar. I could disconnect it and reconnect it, but it's super simple to set up for your first time. So you're gonna go here to get that set up. And then another thing that they've kind of recently added to the meetings tool is the ability to use custom domains. So if you already have a custom domain set up within your HubSpot portal, you'll see it in this drop down here. So you can see we could use any of our custom domains here that we have set up inside HubSpot. For now, we're just using the default one from HubSpot. So we're gonna go back to the meetings tool. That's under this sales drop down here and just click on meetings. And again, if you haven't set anything up, you're not gonna have anything in here, but you can see I've got all of these. But either way, the first time you're gonna create one, you're just gonna go to this create meeting link. Go ahead and click on that. And today we're gonna be talking about how to set up a personal one. There's also kind of an advanced setting that you can set up the ability to have somebody book meetings with your entire team. But today we're just gonna have them be able to set it up with you. So when you click on that, you're gonna be taken to this first screen here, which is the details. And so you're gonna see you've got a couple just basic options here. So this meeting headline is gonna be something that your clients see. So you want this to really reflect the type of meeting that they're gonna book with you. So if it's a call, you're gonna wanna change this default from meet with Tyler Sprung to call with Tyler Sprung, for example. Or you can change it to whatever you'd like. The meeting name here is internal only. So the person that you send the link to is never gonna see this, so you can set this to whatever you want. Helps you kind of differentiate between those links once you have multiple ones set up. This link here, so it's always gonna kind of pre-populate the beginning of this link. And if you have it set up with a custom domain, it'll replace this app.hubspot.com with that custom domain. And then you can change the ending here if you'd like. And then for your meeting type, this is really important for being able to track it inside of a contact record. So if you want to be able to differentiate the different types of meetings that a contact has set up with you, you'll be able to go into your contact record and it will say free consultation call, for example, if you have that set up. And then you're going to set the duration of the meeting. So if you only want to give them one option, you just pop in here. So let's say this is always going to be a 1-hour discovery meeting. So we'll put 1 hour here and call it good. Or if you want to give them options, you can click another duration. And so let's say I want to give them an option between choosing a 1-hour meeting or a 30-minute meeting. So I just put in 30, and you can continue to add more durations if you want to give them more options. So once you have this set up, we'll just say meeting here. It'll give you the opportunity to, once you have all the fields filled in, it'll give you the opportunity to go to the next screen, which is the configuration screen. And so most of the settings here are gonna be what populates on the email or the calendar invite that gets sent out to the prospect after they fill out the form. And I'll show you that here in just a second. So if you're familiar with like Google Calendar or any calendar application, most of them will have the location of the meeting. So if this is a physical meeting location, you might pre-populate a place in here, or if it's a phone call, you might put in your phone number. So like a lot of what we do is Zoom meetings, and so we'll put our Zoom meeting link in here. The invite subject, so whatever you want the subject to be of the calendar invites. And then any details, so we have all of the conference line details in here, so like the meeting identification and the PIN number, anything they need there. Or if you just want to describe maybe what you're going to be talking about, you could put that here. The language, so English, or they've got multiple other languages that you can choose here. And then the date and number format, so that's defaulted to United States since that's where we're based. And then you've got this option here of sending reminder emails. So unfortunately, you can't customize this, what the email actually says, but what it'll do is whenever you set this time, so right now it's set to 1 hour before the meeting, it's just gonna send an email and say, hey, you've got a meeting coming up in an hour. And then if you want to include the description details that you've entered here, you can just check this box and it'll include those description details. So once you've got all the configuration settings set up, you're gonna hit next. And this is where you're gonna mark your availability. So this is when it starts to get pretty powerful. So let's say this is a meeting, I only wanna have this type of meetings on Tuesday, for example. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all of these other defaults. And so right now I'm only available from Tuesday from 9 to 5. And it's even more powerful because since we integrated it with my Google Calendar, it's also gonna look at any meetings that I already have in my Google Calendar and make those unavailable to book. So if I've already got a meeting from 9 to noon, it's just gonna make it available from noon to 5. So it automatically does that, and that's the power of that calendar integration. You can also set up some other settings in here. So minimum notice time is the amount of time that somebody needs between when they actually book this meeting with you or when they're on the form page and when the meeting actually starts. So 15 minutes would be pretty aggressive. This would mean that somebody could book a meeting with you now for 15 minutes from now. So I usually have this delay set much longer than that. So I will usually do like 6 hours or a day because I want to make sure that I have time to prepare for the meeting. And then buffer time is gonna be the time between the meetings in your calendar. So I mentioned earlier, if I've got a meeting from 9 to noon, it would be available for the prospect from noon to 5. But if I have this buffer time set for 15 minutes, then the availability is actually gonna start at 12:15. If you got it set for an hour, it would start at 1. So it gives you some space in between your meetings. So if you've got to drive around town, for example, or have some time to prepare, or if you're worried that a lot of your meetings kind of go long, then you can set that buffer time for a little bit longer. When a meeting can be scheduled defines how far in advance the meeting can be scheduled. So you may only keep your calendar up to date for the next 2 weeks, for example. You may not be very good about putting like future vacations into your calendar. So you might want to block it off to just this week and next, or just for the next 3 weeks. Or let's say this is a meeting for prospects and you want to encourage them to move through that sales pipeline quicker. You might restrict how far in advance they can book a discovery meeting, for example. And then your start time increment. So if you've got it set to 15 minutes, for example, which is the default, it's always gonna start on the 15-minute mark. So they're gonna have options, and I'll show you that here in a second. But if you've got it set at 15, they'll have options like 12, 12:15, 12:30, 12:45. If you had it set at 10 minutes, then it'd be 12, 12:10, 12:20. So you get the idea there. So I like to make sure that it's not set. 15 minutes is usually what I use. 10 minutes, I feel like it gives the prospect too many options and it's a little bit overwhelming when they go to that screen. So once you have configuration, you're gonna set what's available for them to fill out on the form. So by default, they'll have first name, last name, and email. And as you might expect with HubSpot, all of this will be populated into their contact record if it's not already. But you can add either properties that you already have by hitting contact property, and you can select any of these here in the dropdown. Or you can ask them a custom question. So maybe it's something that you don't really care if it makes it to the contact record, but it is something you need to know for that meeting. So you would just enter a custom question in here. So we'll just type it in here, hit save, and then in the form, they'll be able to answer that custom question with a kind of a text field. And then if you are GDPR, set up to be GDPR compliant, you can, HubSpot makes it really easy to make this GDPR compliant. You just toggle that switch to on, and then you've got some customized options there. So then when you're done, you're just gonna hit save, and it's gonna give you this link. It also gives you the ability to embed it on your website. So I'll show you an example of how we have embedded it on our website for a free consultation call that people can book. But most of the time you're gonna be using this page link. So I'm gonna hit close here, and it's gonna take me back to this screen. So you can see the one that we just created was this meeting. And so now we have a link. So if I click on this, I'll show you here what the prospect sees when they click on the meeting link. You can include that meeting link in an email or on a website, wherever you need people to be able to click and schedule a meeting. So you can see here, I set it to only be available for Tuesday. And apparently on the 21st, I've got quite a few meetings. So there's not a whole lot of options they can pick from if they have the hour option. But if they select this 30-minute option, you can see that there's more options available here. So let's say I'm the prospect and I want to book a meeting at 10:30. So I'm going to click on that. And now I'm going to be taken to the form. So this has all of those fields that I had laid out in that setting. So I'll just type in my details quick here. If I can type today. Hit confirm. And as soon as I hit confirm, a few things are gonna happen. Whoever filled out the form is gonna be sent an invite to that meeting. And since the meeting was to be booked with me, on my calendar, it's also gonna block off that time slot. So I don't need to do anything. I don't need to add it to my calendar. If I'm sending a lot of these out, I don't need to worry about people double booking because it'll instantly be added to my calendar. So that's what happens when people click on the link. I wanna show you a real quick example of how you can embed it on your website and do some pretty powerful things. So I'll show you the Simple Strat website here. Now, our kind of bottom of the funnel call to action that we want people to take right before they're ready to buy is this free consultation. So if you click on this, it's gonna take you to a landing page and ask you just a few questions. You can see that I've filled out this form before, so all of these fields are pre-populated for me. So this is gonna ask, this is just asking a few questions about what we're gonna talk about in the consultation. We chose to do that in a separate form than the meeting form. And then I'm gonna hit this select a call date and time button. And it's gonna take me to a landing page that has that meetings tool embedded. So that embed code we used here. And so this is kind of how you can use that. And so now somebody told me all about what they wanna talk about in that consultation, and they can book a call directly with me. So let's say they wanna book a call for the 17th at 4:30, and it's gonna take them through that same process we just went through. So that's it. Super simple to set up, but extremely powerful once you get started using it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more HubSpot hacks, how-tos, and tips. If you have anything you'd like us to cover in a future video, drop them in those comments below.